Good afternoon, everyone. It's Sal Warner. How you all doing? Welcome to another episode of Chatterbox. Hope everyone is doing well. Hope everyone's had a fantastic day so far and enjoying the elements of a great, fantastic, calm, relaxed Saturday afternoon, of course, guys, because that's what it's all about at the end of the day. It's about enjoying the elements and enjoying the company and being kind to each other and being happy, isn't it, at the end of the day? And guys, before I start, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel and smash a like on the video. If you guys can do that for me, that'd be absolutely fantastic, guys. So thank you so much for joining me, you guys. Thank you very much. I really appreciate you coming on a Saturday afternoon. Of course, I know you guys, you know what, you're doing your own things and stuff like that. Got 10 of you online at the moment. Let's get more online, guys. Thank you so much, everyone who's joining me today. But before I get into anything, look, you know what? There's been a lot of noises around our football club. You know what? Some of it, you know, has been quite educational. Some of it has been quite enlightening in regards to what has been happening around our football club. We've had Benni McCarthy. Of course, Benni McCarthy has been speaking the last few weeks in regards to Man United, not only this last 24 hours, but I did come across the SuperSport interview, of course, just yesterday. And I watched the full interview. And to be honest with you, some of that interview was very enlightening. And I urge you to go back and track back on this stream throughout the last weeks and listen to me when I say it, right? It's not that I'm a be all and end all and I know everything and stuff like that, but I was talking about manipulation from the players, the manipulation from certain players within that squad where they perform well in training. They do so well in training. It's so impressive. It's incredible. But when we go out on the pitch, they're not producing on that pitch. Now, what is the reason behind this, guys? You may ask, what's the reason behind this? Is it the fact that they're lying? Are they manipulating, like I said? Is there confidence, guys? Is it a mental thing? But it can't be at the end of the day because this has happened time and time again. And if it is a weakness in the mentality, are these players really right for Manchester United? Are they the right players? Are they the right fit for our great football club at the end of the day? And that's what I would say. Hello, Amin. How you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Welcome to the stream. Hope everything is good with you. Amin, Ishmael, good to see you back, my friend. Yeah, so at the end there, when I was looking at it, I spoke about it a couple of weeks ago, and I was speaking about these players. You know what? They might perform well in training because there was the argument about, oh, you know what? Ten Hag, he picks these players. He's the one who's picking these players. But then I told people maybe they're lying to him. Maybe they're performing like world-class players in training. But when it comes to the actual game, they're not performing at all. They're down tooling. Even that small percentage just going down that little bit of a notch. Do you know what I mean? So it's just that little notch that is the difference between winning and losing, of course. Brian, good afternoon. How you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Good to see you back, mate. Good to see you back. It is International Week, of course, guys. Well, International Fortnight, of course. So not great. Of course, it's been pretty boring. And as we know that the news outlets are very, very quiet when Manchester United are not playing. Of course, they have nothing to talk about and stuff like that. But this Benni McCarthy interview did really resonate and it did really hit home about what's going on at Manchester United. Benni McCarthy called Erik ten Hag the best manager there is. So what is going on here? So at the end of the day, who is talking the truth? Who's telling the truth? What is happening at our football club? If Erik ten Hag is the best manager out there, why are these players not performing? And we have to look at it like that, you know. And there is a multi-layered reasons why not. My preference of believing is that some of these players are down tooling. Some of these players are not playing to their capabilities. When they're in training, they play their best so they can manipulate on the field. And that's what I believe. And I do believe that is sinister. I know that's sinister. I know that is a bit far-fetched. I know. But it's what I feel. It's what I feel about this team. I feel like they're manipulating on the pitch. They're not really giving it all on the pitch. They're giving it all in training, but not on the pitch. And it is a manipulation at the end of the day. And that is how I see things. I mean, how come all the not the right players are ending up at our club? I don't know, mate. I don't know. One thing is for certain. I mean, we have 7, 8 players at our football club who've been there for years. All right. Some of them have been there since the Louis van Gaal days. Right. And those players can still be a huge influence on the new players, you know, because they are senior players at the end of the day. So they could still be manipulating the new players, the young players, for example. So unless these bad apples are removed from the football club, we're not going to move forward, because they will still be poisoning the newcomers, the players, the young players, etc. It only takes one bad apple to make the fruit bowl bad at the end of the day. Do you know what I mean? And that's how I feel about it, guys. I mean, it starts with the mentality of the owners. The players are taking things for granted after seeing the laid-back attitude of the owners. It's true. Good point. I mean, very good point. How's things, pal? Good, Danny B. Good to see you, mate. Hope you're doing well. Welcome back to the stream, my guy. Hope everything is fine with you and having a fantastic Saturday, of course, guys. No, but the thing is, I would say this has been happening under various managers. You know, this has been going on for a very long time. This down tooling of the players, this, you know what, playing so well in training, looking world class in training. But when they get on the pitch, you know what, it's a far contrast to what is really going on at our football club. Do you know what I mean? Things need to improve. You know what I mean? Mentality needs to improve. Attitude needs to improve. And this is what I would say about Manchester United right now. Attitude needs to improve. And to prove the attitude, we do have to get rid of some of those players. We do. I'm talking 7, 8 of the players who've been there for years and years and years. But the problem is, obviously, it's not easy to get rid of players. It's not easy. They're on astronomical wages as well. So to get rid of them, it is quite difficult to do. And we have to cut our losses. You know, but the problem is those teams who want to buy those players, they'll happily pay the transfer fee, but they don't want to pay for their wages, of course. And some of our players are on ridiculous wages, as we know, absolute mad wages at the end of the day. And some of our players don't want to reduce their wages, to move out of the football club. We just about got rid of Scott McTominay, of course, as we know. We just about got rid of him. And he's probably one of the only people who actually had a good attitude. Do you know what I mean? But there's still players at that football club who have a bad attitude. And Benni McCarthy's not going to lie. Benni McCarthy's going to tell you everything about what Man United are, you know, right now, what he's experienced over the last 2 years, and it is still fresh in his mind. So Benni McCarthy, for me, is telling the truth. I mean, some people may say it's sour grapes. He got removed from his position for Ruud van Nistelrooy. I really don't think so, because what he's saying is what I believe, and I've been saying for weeks now, and it got shut down, to be honest with you. I said that some of these players are manipulators. They're king manipulators, and when they go into training, they play like they're world class, but when they go onto that pitch, it's a completely different story. Now, it can be blamed on mental health, and mentality is not there, and you know what, maybe they don't have the guts or the courage to do it on the pitch, and maybe the crowd get to them on their back. You know what, then if that is the case, really and truly, do you class them as a Manchester United player? Really and truly, when you look at it deeply, do you really class them as Manchester United players? Of course. Goals for George, how you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Good to see you, mate. Eriksen is no leader, always making excuses and blame shifting to, though he throughout his career talented about Spurs striker, type of who won't speak up at meetings but will backstab bait later. At the end of the day, mate, you know what? I'm conflicted in regards to the Eriksen story, in regards to the backstabbing and stuff like that. Myself, I thought it was pointless, if I'm being totally honest, Goals for George. But one thing is that Eriksen is an experienced player. He's an international player, of course. He isn't there. He shouldn't be. We shouldn't be relying on Eriksen. Eriksen was finished at Spurs. We shouldn't be playing players like Christian Eriksen at Man United right now. That is one thing. And to be honest with you, he hasn't set the world alight. He's been okay, but he hasn't set the world alight, really, has he? So my opinion is, I mean, what he said is telling, and we have to take it on board about what he said about the players that they wanted it more than us. How can a team like FC20 want it more than Manchester United? They wanted it more than us. And we have to pick that out. And there has to be an element of truth in that, because Eriksen won't say that otherwise. Maybe he shouldn't have said it in public, but when you say that, it does really resonate, doesn't it? It makes you think, dude, why don't these players want it? Why don't they want it more than FC20? Why do they not want to win for that badge? You know, that great football, that great badge, the team that's been through adversity over the years. Do you know what I mean? It's crazy at the end. I don't know what's going on for our football club. It's disgusting what's going on at the moment. And one thing's for certain is that there is no smoke without fire in regards to rumours and people speaking in regards to Benny McCarthy. Benny McCarthy has been speaking a lot, you know, and you know what? He might be right. He must be right. He's the one who's been there for the last 2 years, isn't it? He's the most recent one who's left the club, who's speaking out against the club. And you know what? It could be true. My view is it is true. I don't think he'll be making up any stories such as these, you know what I mean, just to cause conflict. I don't think so. I actually believe he's penning the truth, in my opinion. Don't think we need a Tuchel who can be balanced to the situation. By the way, the players and the owners with his hands-on approach, like he did at Chelsea. I don't think so. I don't think Tuchel is the right man for Manchester United. He's been sacked at numerous places. He falls out of owners, and at the moment, we don't need any more managers to fall out with owners because we got a new structure at our football club, and he's a very opinionated guy. He's outspoken. He's the sort of guy who would do well in England, the England football job, the England national team job. I think if he was manager of England, I think he'd do pretty well, in my opinion. I really do. I think he'll do well. But for Man United, I just don't think so. I don't think he's that guy. For me, like, he's been bigging up Rashford and Bruno, hasn't he? He's been speaking about Rashford and Bruno nonstop, that guy. You know, so look, we need managers who are going to be ruthless and not just play players based on reputation. We need him to play players based on performances. And you know what? This Rashford and Bruno talk really, really kind of puts me off, if I'm being honest with you guys. Jim Watkins, how you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Welcome back to the stream. Hope everything is good. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, Sal. Everyone in the chat, every single one of you. Bless you all. Bless you, Jim. Hope you're doing well. Welcome back to the stream, my guy. Welcome back, my friend. Kazi, how you doing, Matt? What's up, y'all? Good afternoon, everyone. Made in London, bruv. Absolutely made in London. Made in England, as we are. Of course, guys. I'm definitely made in England. Goodness me. East London, mate. Whips Cross, you know what I mean? Absolutely. Big up. Big up. Hello, everyone. Big up, Sanjay. How you doing? Hope you're doing well. Hope everything is fine with you. Thank you so much for joining the stream. Thank you so much for joining the stream. Is my picture a little bit better? You know, some people think this is green screen. Some people think this is green screen. It's not green screen. It's actually real bricks as well. I think it's a little bit better. I think I need to move my picture across here. There we go. That's a little bit better, isn't it? That is a lot better, isn't it? Absolutely. Big up, Sanjay. Of course, Jim Watkins, bring on the more retired and finished players. Yeah, we will make the superstars again. No, but no thanks. Jokes aside, we need to stop signing players who no one else wants. Do you know what? Ugarte is a fantastic player. We signed him, of course. De Ligt is a fantastic player. We signed him, of course. Ugarte was wanted by a number of other clubs. Of course, Licho, before we signed him, was wanted by a number of other clubs. You know, there's a lot of players who are wanted by a number of other clubs at our football team. You know, even Mazraoui was wanted by Liverpool, I believe, not long ago. The problem is that the atmosphere and the culture within our football club is not where it should be. The culture within our football club, within the backstabbing, you know, with the leaks coming out of the dressing room and stuff. This is one thing that is been a problem for many, many years now. And, you know, not just under Erik ten Hag. But one thing I would say, instead of signing, to agree with you, Jim, instead of signing players that are, you know what, not wanted by anyone, we should just concentrate on our own players, our youth players, Dan Gore, Fletcher, do you know what I mean, Shea Lacey, Amas, of course. We need to concentrate on those type of players and bring through the youth as well. Do you know what? Because to be honest with you, mate, I'm absolutely tired with the rumours. I don't know how you guys feel about it, but I'm tired with the rumours. I'm fed up with the rumours, and I wish that they would just disappear. Those players, to be honest with you, who are spreading those rumours, and just let us get on with it and let us try to build something of significance, of course. Goals of John Everton that has made Erik ten Hag out. YouTubers look really silly now. YouTubers or influencers has no power to make the false manager change of football clubs. Unless you're a Sheikh Turkish, you cannot change. Goals for George, absolutely spot on, my guy. Absolutely. You know what? It's not the first time the aggressive Ten Hag out brigade have made to look pretty stupid. Do you know what? This isn't about me looking stupid, them looking stupid, me being right, them looking right. At the end of the day, I want what's best for the football club, right? And yes, they have made to be look stupid again, you know, because they dive into it too soon. They make pictures, they make these silly tweets and stuff like that, like it's already over. When Ineos are the ones who are going to make the decision. And if they make the decision, they're going to make the decision. If he gets sacked, he's going to be sacked. It isn't going to be influenced from them. We have a new structure these days. They're not going to be influenced about nothing at the end of the day. So in regards to Ineos, you know, when they're going to sack him, look, you know what, my opinion is, if he doesn't beat Brentford and Fenerbahce, if those results go pear-shaped, you can nearly guarantee that he probably would not be Man United by the next game. So we need to understand that these next 2 games coming up are vital. He's on a knife edge. I'm not disagreeing with that. He is on a knife edge. He's on a piece of string like this. Do you know what I mean? He's future, and it's hanging by a thread. And at the end of the day, if he doesn't win those 2 games coming up, Brentford and Fenerbahce, do you know what? These are very tricky games. Brentford are no mugs. We know that. They've beaten us before, haven't they? Fenerbahce have got Jose Mourinho. They've got Amrabat. They've got Fred as well. So at the end of the day, do you know what? It's going to be difficult. It's going to be important times at Man United. Really, really important times and really interesting times as well. Big up, Jim. Big up, Jim, of course. American and British owners of football clubs are unable to run their football clubs like non-American and British owners of football clubs. I mean, at the end of the day, the only successful people who go at football clubs, who do football clubs, are generally people who are, deemed dodgy. At the end of the day, deemed dodgy. Abramovich was a fantastic owner of the football club of Chelsea. When Abramovich left, you know what? I think it took Chelsea time to get into their rhythm. Some say they got back into their rhythm. I don't think they're back into their rhythm. They haven't really played anyone at the moment. So let's see how they get on in regards to the season going ahead in regards to that. But you know what? And obviously the Arabs do well at football clubs. And the reason they do well at football clubs is because they don't worship money. There's certain countries that worship money and they think about their dividends and their profits before they invest in the football team, including the Glazers, of course. Liverpool will tell you that. Liverpool will tell you that as well. Americans do fantastic business owners, brilliant business owners. But when it comes to owning football clubs, they don't quite get what football clubs are right about. Football clubs, they don't quite get who we are. They can't even get the sport name right, soccer. They don't quite get it. And when the culture of football is a European thing. It is a European thing. It's a South American thing. It's an African thing. It's one of them things that have been there for decades and decades and decades. 100 years. We've been playing football. Europe has been playing football, and a lot of Americans don't really quite grasp it. They think it's like a soccer mom sort of sport. Do you know what I mean? And you know what? It's not. It's the biggest sport in the world. And as soon as they grasp that, they realize it's not just about putting money into your pocket and investing into that team. Then they might be able to be a little bit more successful. Now, Todd Bowley seems all right. Todd Bowley seems like he's putting his money where his mouth is in regards to Chelsea. It looks okay, but he's doing it willy-nilly. He's doing it slapdash. Abramovich was more structured. Abramovich knew what he was doing. He knew what manager to bring in. He knew when to sack a manager. He rarely got it wrong, and they maintained success, didn't they? Jim, so in the past, we bought Pogba back for 89 million, flop signing and paid 80 million for Maguire. Chased Toro, Vidal, hopelessly De Jong, and another waste of time. Foul to get Bale and more. Absolutely. And that is due to, Murto and Woodward and those guys up there, Glazers, of course. That is down to them, of course. And you know what? The Bale signing would have been very interesting when David Moyes came in. I felt he wasn't backed properly. Maybe whatever you think about David Moyes, whether he was the right choice, whether he was the wrong choice, he wasn't backed, right? He got Fellaini and that was it. At the end of the day, he wasn't backed, and he should have been backed. Rumor is he wanted Gareth Bale, of course, like that, and Thomas Muller, players like that. You know what? That would have made a big difference, isn't it, to our squad? It would have made a big difference. But one thing I would say about David Moyes, that he inherited a very, very good squad. Rio Ferdinand, Robin van Persie was still there. Michael Carrick was still there. Do you know what I mean? There were still great players at that football club, and there was no reason for us to have a disappointing season the way we had a disappointing season under David Moyes. But I would agree with that in regards to the way that our board have been running things. They, you know what, when they go after players, when they, at the beginning of the transfer window, we go after players worth 40 million. We say we're not going to pay 40 million. When it gets to the end of the transfer window, we end up paying 90 million for the same player. That is incompetence. And we've been doing that for years. But this is a new structure now. We're not going to be held to ransom. Ineos are not going to be held to ransom. And so far, I'm not going to jump at them and say, do you know what, they're crap, they're rubbish. Not now. You know, it's too early to say that. At the end of the day, we have to be patient in regards to Ineos. But do you know what? I really hope that we correct the mistakes that we've made in the past, guys. Absolutely. Sal, you look tired. I wasn't on the beach, mate. I was doing a couple of things outside. I was in the sun a lot. Yeah, absolutely. I'm not tired, guys. Absolutely. That's just the way I look, mate. It's just the way I look, my friend. Just the way I look. As you know, we have so much negative issues and positive ones, so it's sad to see how our club has gone. But you know what? I know we'll get back where we belong, like Fergie. I know, mate. I know we'll get back, David. Absolutely. Love the comment, by the way. I know that we will get back eventually where we belong. And when we do get back to where we belong, I know that we're going to be absolutely partying partying like it's 1999 on this stream, because you know what? It would be even more sweeter when we do get back to where we belong. Of course, when we do get back, do you know what I mean? Absolutely. It'd be nice, because you know what? The adversity, it makes the success even more sweeter, doesn't it? Goals for George. I rate Everton Hagen top 5% of managers in the world football, but the others don't. But I feel managers are jealous of Everton Hagen, his career trajectory and ceiling. Also, I feel Ineos had an easy talks in the summer. Yeah, you know what? Everything has gone against Eric Ten Hag in regards to the he's had all the obstacles against him, to be a success at Man United. You know what? Imagine someone is looking out for other managers whilst you're still the manager. Imagine that. Imagine how that must have felt. It must have been awful, isn't it? It must have been crazy at the end of that. And it lasted all summer, of course. We saw it last all summer, of course, you know, and it was horrible. You know, everything, the mitigating circumstances, the off-field issues, the media barrage on him. Let's not forget that people didn't want Ten Hag before he even became the Manchester United manager. There are certain elements of the media who didn't want him, you know, and they're still holding a bitter sword against him. Do you know what I mean? Fellaini is a flop, Sal. I never liked him. He put in a shift, but he was never a Manchester United player, in my opinion. Put in a shift, but never a Man United player. Nothing against the player, absolutely. It seems, Sal, we can't attract the elite players anymore. It's not just about, Brian, attracting the elite players. You know what? It's about just restructuring our football club. Arsenal don't attract elite players. Arsenal, what elite player have they signed? They signed Odegaard, who was not wanted by Real Sociedad and Real Madrid, you know, but they built him into players that fitted their system, and it worked. It's not just about signing the likes of Mbappe and, you know, Leao and players such as that, Keelia and players such as that. It's about building your own players as well, bringing in players that are willing to work for the football club and fight for the football club. We look at their qualities, and if they got the correct qualities there, you know what, you can find players around the world who would do a job for us. Do you know what I mean? Sir Alex Ferguson never signed elite players. He never signed elite players. Probably one elite player he signed was Juan Sebastian Veron. Probably that was the only one. Rooney was not an elite player. He was an up-and-coming player. Players like that. Ferdinand was not an elite player. He was an up-and-coming player. There's certain players there that were good, but, you know what, up-and-coming. You know what I mean? And not quite there yet. But, you know what, it's not just about signing elite players. It's about signing the right player. And that's what we need to do. Brian, big up. Manatute, Jim Watkins once tried the Fellaini hairdo, but failed miserably. I'm getting there at the moment, guys. I do kind of wish that Qatar got Qatar. I do kind of wish we got Qatar. Absolutely, of course, because at the end of the day, we wouldn't have such problems that we're having right now. All the problems would have been removed from the football club. All those players who are mercenaries would have been, their contracts would have been bought out, and they would have been removed from the football club completely. You know, we would have had the stadium being built right now. We wouldn't have to look for investment for the stadium, you know. And now with all these laws going on that Man City have got away with, Man City are now going to get Etihad, for example, and they're going to invest in Manchester City, and now they're going to have more money to buy more players, and we cannot compete with that because we're walking to the right decision instead of running to the wrong decision, so to speak. And that those are the sort of noises that won't bring you to the top of the tree. We need to move quickly. We need to have rock and roll, get on with it and move quickly. Sign players, get rid of the wrong player, get rid of players, sign players, get rid of players not working, get rid of him. And do you know what a Qatar ownership would do? If we bought a goalkeeper, right? We bought a Nana, for example, and the Nana didn't work out. Dumped. New goalkeeper. You know what I mean? Now, with Ineos, we can't just dump a Nana. We got to make do of it. And I'm not picking on Nana. This is hypothetically speaking. We just, you know what I mean? If we had like Qatar as owners, we could have dumped a Nana, and then we could have bought someone else, or we could have dumped Dalot, bought a right back. That one's not working. Dump that right back. Buy another right back until we get it right. And that is what the money of Qatar would have done. Now we have to have potluck, sign a player. It has to work. It has to work. Do you know what I mean? And that's sad, isn't it? Brian, you mean Elite Baller? Where is Elite Baller, by the way? Haven't seen him in a long time. Haven't seen Elite Baller in a long time. No, Man Tata Reggae Boy. Absolutely. Absolutely. Liked Veron Sal quality. It was quality. It was, but it didn't fit our system. And I felt sorry for him in a way because Paul Scholes, Roy Keane were in our football club, of course. So you're never going to dismantle those players, isn't it? So it was difficult for him to settle down. Of course, Beckham, Roy Keane, Ryan Giggs. Do you know what I mean? It's Paul Scholes. It was difficult for him obviously to settle down. Same with Sal. Name a few elite players right now. Elite players right now. If you want to go with elite players right now, if you want to buy an elite player in the world right now, you're talking about Mbappe, Vinicius Jr., players such as that, Bellingham, players like that. Those are elite players. Like, you know what? A lot of people, we say Keelia from Napoli. If you want to go there, Rafael Leao, if you want to go down that direction as well, of course, guys, absolutely. There's many Rico Williams, of course, guys. There's a lot of elite players that are out there in the Premier League as well that are deemed elite. You know, Cole Palmer could be deemed like coming up to an elite player as well. Do you know what I mean? We need to look for our elite players and build our own elite players at the end of the day, rather than spending 100, 150 million. I mean, if we were owned by Qatar, maybe we could have got those players in, but we're not. We're owned by Ineos. Well, 27%. We're still owned by the Glazers, of course, guys. Absolutely. And that is the issue that we're having. We're still run by the Glazers. They still sign the checks. Imagine we had the Qataris and we play like this. All that money can't change what our players and what the Qataris wouldn't put up with it, David. They wouldn't put up with it. Absolutely not. Their reputation is on the line. They wouldn't put up with it. If players were given subpar performances, they'd be out the door. They'd be out the door. That's why the Qatar was good for Manchester United at the end of the day. And you know what? We were barraged with a lot of self-righteous, you know, virtual signaling and stuff like that over when Qatar were bidding for Man United. People think they know about Qatar. People think they know about the Middle East when they don't. They don't know nothing about it. You know what? They're just making up stories because, do you know what? They just don't like the religion, you know, and they've been watching too many Disney cartoons, basically. And you know what? Qatar would have been a fantastic option for Man United. But one thing I would say is that it would have been very, very difficult for Qatar to buy Manchester United because they did offer 6 billion, which is like 3 times what we're worth, right? And Glazers are still holding on. And they're not going to pay more than that. Or you're paying 3 times what the club is worth. You're not going to pay more than that. At the end of the day, they priced us out, the Glazers. They priced us out and they held on for dear life, of course. And do you know what? That's what Zionists do. Sal, what would Red Devils have kept quiet and accepted that the Glazers did to their club if their Glazers were Russian or Arab or Asian or Africans? So would the Red Devils have kept? No, absolutely not, Manzu Toto. And we know that the answer to that question is pretty simple, that they would not. You know, and they would not. I come from a mixed race family. My mum is white English, right? My dad is Asian, right? I'm mixed race. I married to an Italian wife. You know, so I see things from a different perspective. I see things from above. Do you know what I mean? Absolutely. In regards to the English mentality, this is what they would have done. If the Glazers were African, if they were Arab, if they were Russian, for example, there would be a different story in regards to those people. Do you know what I mean? If Roman Abramovich, let's say, was American, he'll still be the Chelsea owner. Even if the roles were reversed, he'll still be the Chelsea owner. We know Wagwan. United are going in a different direction now regarding recruitment of players. Rasmus is a prospect, and Atalanta pulled out the pants down and must be laughing at United after making 110 million. I mean, you know what? At the end of the day, you know, we've been run by clowns. You know, for the last few years, goals for George. We've been run by clowns and been overpriced and had our pants pulled down, as you said. Goals for George. These players we paid double, and we shouldn't have paid double for those players. We shouldn't have done that. But hopefully, this new regime, you know, this new regime coming on, you know, hopefully. Fingers crossed that they get it right. Let's hope that they get it right. I hope so. I really do. You know, it is still early days. It only has been a few months. So we have to hope that eventually it does fall into place, of course, guys. So I've tried to sing like Bob Marley, having the hair of Marion Fellaini, but not only in the looks. I look good. As for the singing, you will run for the hills. Maybe one day, Jim, you can come on this stream and you can sing for me. You can sing for me. I know you will never show your face. I don't even know what you look like, Jim. Absolutely. We need to get the better scouting system, people, and the analytics, how to analyze players, how they live and think. Absolutely. You know, Sir Alex Ferguson used to say, David, that the first question he used to ask, he didn't used to ask about football. The first thing he would ask the players, are they married? Are they settled down? Where do they live? How's their family? He would ask that. He would get into their lives, you know, he'd get into the lives and what they're like, how they conduct themselves, how they eat, how they look after their family, are they married? And he would encourage players to get married. He would encourage players to get married. You should get married. You've got a girlfriend. You should get married. He would be like that. That is what Sir Alex Ferguson used to do. He didn't used to mention football. In fact, he didn't mention football at all for the first few meetings. He used to just talk about you as a person, who you are. You know, and that is what is most important. And I feel we've drifted away from that a little bit. I feel like we're not in that at the moment. We've drifted away from that a little bit, guys. 35 million should have be paid for Xerxes and Rasmus. Cost us 8 million for both strikers. That is the reason that Rasmus will get patience from the fans. Absolutely, absolutely. There's a reason. Absolutely. And it's not Rasmus' fault at the end of the day, and it's not Xerxes' fault. But Xerxes did play well for Bologna last season. Let's not forget he played well for Bologna last season. Bologna qualified for the Champions League, mate. Do you know what I mean? And it was big part of it was down to Xerxes. In regards to Rasmus, is that, you know, Rasmus, you know, it's not his fault that we paid ridiculous amounts of money from him. It's our incompetence. It's our incompetence. And hopefully this incompetence will change. But there's no point changing that incompetence if we still got those same players at our football club who've been down tooling, leaking, moaning behind the scenes. Those players still exist at our football club. They're still playing for our football club. So how can we change when we still got 7-8 players in our squad that are potentially leaking things, crying and stuff like that? That Benni McCarthy has basically said, of course, guys. Let me just bring you into this, if I may. I just want to bring you into this. So when we go to Benni McCarthy, right, he said here, in regards Benni McCarthy on what's wrong with you, man, you say, the way we train, then come match day, it became a massive shock to us all. There are no better managers than Erik ten Hag. And this is coming from Benni McCarthy, right? Benni McCarthy is meant to be bitter about Erik ten Hag because he was removed from his position, of course. But look at that. There are no better managers than Erik ten Hag. Benni McCarthy said that. He goes on to say, Benni McCarthy on his relationship with Marcus Rashford, I was a straight shooter, and he probably didn't have enough people in his life that is straight with him because everyone tells him what he needs to hear, which basically means that, they're telling him how great he is and what he wants to hear because of who he is. I was normal and he appreciated that. And this is the thing, what I've just been saying, I've been saying it for weeks, that people around people like Marcus Rashford are not the right people. They're not going to tell you how it is. If I walk into my house at home and my wife tells me, Sal, you're putting on weight, I'm not going to tell her, F off, you liar. I'm going to take it as love. I'm not going to take it as hate at the end of the day. When you're getting people constantly praising you because you're rich and because they're hanging around you, they get to hang around you and stuff like that, do you know what I mean? That does more harm than good, of course, guys. More harm than good, as we know. Guys, Benni McCarthy on Erik ten Hag. That man works tirelessly, and when you put that much work in, you expect things to go. But that's why I'm saying there's something not right. And what have I been saying for the last few weeks? Something fundamentally wrong at Manchester United, not just the manager. I've been saying that, banging the drum for weeks and weeks and weeks, mate. Listen, I've been talking about underperforming players for weeks and weeks and weeks and why they manipulate and why their true self doesn't show from training as opposed to what happens on the pitch. Do you know what I mean? And this is what's been happening. Obviously, Bruno has been talking as well. Bruno has been talking as well. He said, I want to improve as soon as I get there and make sure the goals start coming. I'm a midfielder who scores a lot of goals. You score a lot of penalties, mate, as well. And over the years, I've always been at a very high level. Not in the last few years, you have not, Bruno, level in terms of goals, and I have to live up to that, with those expectations. I have scored for the club yet, and I hope I haven't scored for the club yet, and I hope that changes as soon as I get there and I can score. Help the club get back to winning ways and to the good level. At the end of the day, look, you have to look at himself in the mirror. At least he is looking at himself in the mirror in some way, in some capacity. And that Bruno is saying that, you know what, he needs to improve. Because at the end of the day, look, for me, he's sounding a little bit defensive there. He's sounding a little bit like, you know what, I've scored lots of goals. It's not down to me. I scored lots of goals. You scored a lot of penalties, my guy. And the last 18 months, you have not played fantastically well. And the reason I know this is because the only thing you've done great for Man United in the last few months is that pass in the FA Cup final. You had a fantastic FA Cup final. And you know what? Since then, I'll be honest, as a Bruno fan, you know what I mean? As a person who's worked with his family, you know what I mean? I'm going to say he hasn't played good enough for Manchester United. He hasn't played good. For whatever reason that is, I don't know. But he's not the only one. But because he's the captain, because he's the senior pro, we're gonna put the heat on Bruno, of course. If he wants to be captain, if he wants to be the senior pro of the team, if he wants to give orders, he needs to perform right. He needs to perform well. Do you know what I mean? Absolutely. Absolutely. Let's go. Let's get these comments up and running. Thanks, Sal, for saying the truth without fear. Appreciate it. Big up, Manatuta. Absolutely. I have to say the truth. I always say the truth, mate. Say the truth no matter what, because at the end of the day, I'm tired of discrimination. I'm tired of hate. I'm tired of liars. I'm tired of lies within the media. I'm fed up with it. At the end of the day, we look around now, you know, I mean, the lies that are spread, the people who are manipulating and stuff like that. That's not what I do. At the end of the day, I speak it as it is. And people don't like that. Some fan channels don't like that I speak the truth. And some of those guys I've worked with, but I will always tell the truth about them, no matter what. And I'd be happy if they told the truth about me, because at the end of the day, I'm straight down the middle, and I'll tell you who I am, what I'm not. And I will tell you that Manchester United have fundamental problems right now that don't just boil down to the manager. There's plenty of problems at Man United right now, multi-layered problems, probably major problems at the football club right now that, you know what, need years to fix. And you know what, to fix that, we need to get rid of the people who have been there for years and years and years. They might not be the culprit, but I'm saying like this, the players who've been there for like 10 years, let's say, do you know what I mean? They have a huge part to play in what's going wrong at this football club, because at the end of the day, the managers are still not there. The coaches are still not there. Those players are still there. Right back, some of them from the Louis van Gaal days, guys. From the Louis van Gaal days, of course. Joseph Gosford, the Southern Twins got married very early when they signed for man. Absolutely, Joseph Jordan. It's very, very important in life in general. You know what I mean? And that's what Sir Alex Ferguson used to do. He used to encourage players to settle down. He used to encourage them to settle down, get married, get a house, relax. Do you know what I mean? Because if you're out every day, seeing different people, out with different people, you know what? It doesn't do good for you. It doesn't go. Like Rashford should have been married by now. Rashford should have been married. Rashford should have been relaxed. He should have been settled at home with kids. That's what he should be. At the moment, he's 27. You know, and that's what Marcus Rashford should have been. But he's not. You know, he's still out clubbing in Belfast. Do you know what I mean? And this is the problem, you know, and this is what Alex Ferguson used to try and delete from the football club. He used to try and delete this kind of mentality, of course, guys. Absolutely. So, with all due respect, I don't ever do these call-ins. One is security thing over the internet. It's in respect to family members. No problem, Jim. Not everyone has got the courage to do it. Not only courage, not everyone wants to do it. Me, myself, I'm not one of those people who like to put my face on TV. I didn't put my face on TV for a long, long time, even though I was managing great people, big people. I didn't put my face on TV because I'm quite a shy guy, believe it or not. I'm quite a shy guy. And I don't do that. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah, I appreciate what you want, mate. Absolutely. A man to Sal, but Erik ten Hag is not helping himself with the lineup arrogance and stubbornness. Erik ten Hag needs to do what the fans want. That's it. A man to absolutely. But do you know what? Maybe there's a stipulation within the contract. We don't know, do we? If there is a stipulation in the contract that he has to play a certain percentage of games every single week. We don't know that, do we? One thing is for certain is that these players are not performing and they're playing over and over and over again and they need to be dropped. Our last great performance was against Barnsley and Bruno did not play in that game. Regardless who the opposition was, we had a shape, we had a structure, and we seemed to pass the ball more freer and keep the ball more easier. Bruno wasn't playing. He came in as a substitute and he wasn't playing. And you know what? It's not all down to him. Of course, it's not all down to him. There's many, many problems at Man United, as I've been trying to stress, of course. Jim Watkins, don't take it so seriously. Nothing will happen. You need to chill, pill, relax, and say with me, absolutely, mate. Man, Lateta, absolutely love that, mate. Meaning, let go of the world. Absolutely. Do you know what? Life isn't so serious, man. Lateta. My life isn't so serious. Who gives a damn? Do you know what? What people think about you? Who cares at the end of the day? And I'm like that now. I changed now. As I said before, I didn't like having my face on top, but who cares? I can go, blah, 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 blah. I don't really care. Who cares? Do you know what I mean? There's a quote. I think it's in Ted, the movie. Do you remember Ted, the movie? He goes, basically, you could be anything you want to be, right? You can even be a talking teddy bear. Eventually, no one gives a shit. And I love that quote. I know that Ted is a comedy film, right? But I do love that quote. I really do love that quote. Absolutely. It resonates with me because it's true. You could do anything you like, but eventually people just forget and they live on. Do you know what I mean? I could say, I mean, obviously, if as long as I'm not being discriminatory and being a horrible person and stuff like that, I can act like a fool. I can jump up and down. Do you know what I mean? I can wear outfits. I can wear hats. It doesn't matter, does it? We're just human beings. You know what I mean? Just atoms of energy at the end of the day. And that's what it is. To be honest with you, at the end of the day, it's not embarrassing to be on Stretford Post, someone like me who's worked with platinum artists and stuff like that. Do you know what I mean? It's not embarrassing to come on my show and talk to me. Do you know what I mean? Some people find it a privilege, to be honest with you. To be honest with you, not arrogance, but some people do. You know, I've been told, you know, and at the end of the day, it's the way people are. Some people are different, and that's what we have to respect. You know, some people are different, and some people just don't like having their face in. With me, as a guy who suffered anxiety many years, you know what? I didn't like my face on screen and stuff. But the only way to combat it is by doing it and just doing it and just keep doing it and just go for it. Do you know what I mean? You know what I mean? Just go for it. Who cares? And that's the way I am at the end of the day. You know what I mean? It's great because at the end of the day, I wouldn't have met you great people. I wouldn't have met you great people if I didn't come on the stream, if I didn't have the courage to come on the stream and show myself and say, look, here I am. This is what I think about Manchester United. This is what I think. You know what I mean? course. I'm only a Kalo Tata. I'm too chill, bro. Don't worry, relax. I love having fun. That's my name. Absolutely. Yeah, have fun, mate. Have fun. Enjoy life. And that is what it's all about. And do what you love to do, Jim. That is what it's all about at the end of the day. Have faith, have fun, and do what you love to do, mate. And that is what I would say is a good way to live your life. It's a good way to be at the end of the day, guys. Absolutely, absolutely, guys. In 120,000%. Now, look, many people, Benni McCarthy exposed a lot of truth in regards to what's going on at Manchester United. I want to know your opinions about it because I firmly believe that a lot of these Man United players are not performing on the football pitch because they don't have the desire and they don't have the mentality and they don't really want to push it like they should. Man United used to, as someone said on the stream a week ago, Man United used to leave that pitch with steam coming out of them. Some of the football players, when I used to go to games, I used to sit on the front of the Stretford end, used to be sick on the pitch. They used to vomit on the pitch. I don't see that anymore. I don't see the effort anymore. I don't see none of that anymore. And at the end of the day, what has happened to that? Why are these players not giving it? Are they rich too soon? Have they got too much money too soon? Is the money harming them in regards to their performances? Is the money putting pressure on them? Are the fans putting pressure on them? Can they not perform? Because I like to know why we've done so well without fans in the stadium. Because during that COVID season, of course, we didn't have any fans in the stadium, and we did pretty well, didn't we? We did, didn't we? Absolutely. Baza, how you doing, my friend? Good to see you on the stream, my friend. Hope you're doing well. Welcome to Stretford Post. Welcome to the Chatterbox, of course, guys. Thank you so much for joining me. Don't forget to subscribe as well, Bazza. Really appreciate you coming on and appreciate you. Hopefully, I'm following you back on Twitter as well, my guy or girl. Of course, hopefully, I'm following you back, my friend, on Twitter. Let me know. First time viewer from X. Big up, smash, spud you, my friend. Thank you so much, mate. Thank you so much for joining me, Bazza. Jim Watkins, I don't mind if you lend me some Australian dollars for playing slots this weekend without. I can't gamble here, unfortunately. It's banned, of course. It has a block on it, so I can't really gamble here, of course, which is good. It's good for me because I was addicted. Yeah, we have a record, I think, of 29 games unbeaten under Ole. Yeah, it was COVID season. And what does that tell you, Ridwan? Ridwan, it tells you that maybe some of these players have mental problems in playing in front of crowds. That could be a situation there. There could be an issue there in regards to our players playing in front of an audience. Some people have the pressure on them. They might have pressure on their back. But why can't we perform that like that again? And it's not just down to Ollie, because when the fans came back, we started losing again, didn't we? Do you know what I mean? And started getting a record amount of points less. You know what I mean? And at the end of the day, you know what? Is it to do with the crowd? Is it to do with they feel the pressure? Is the pressure on them all the time? Is the pressure on at Old Trafford? Even now, to this day, we're starting to play better away from home. You saw against Crystal Palace, you saw against Porto. We played a better style of football, didn't we? When we're playing at home, we seem to be a lot more open. We seem to fight less. We seem to not keep the ball as good as we should. Do you know what I mean? And that is an issue, of course, guys. Absolutely. So they are building the biggest casino in sea in Abu Dhabi. Is it true or not? They probably are, man. They're building a lot of things in Abu Dhabi. Abu Dhabi is building up. It's going to be better than Dubai. It already is, in my opinion, in regards to Dubai is too common now. But yeah, they're building a lot of things, incredible things, my people. I would advise anyone to visit. It's a fantastic place, absolute fantastic place, and friendly as well. And you know what? Safe as anything. One of the safest places in the world. You know what I mean? And no one bothers you at the end of the day. Look at me. I can go on to and sit down and do my streams and no one's going to bother me at the end of the day. No one's going to upset me and stuff like that and start swearing at me like they would do in England, of course, guys. Actually, I'm not a gambler, bro, although the casino literally down the road from me. Jim Watkins, I'm not a gambler anyway. I used to do the football. I used to put, when Man United were playing a game that I think they should win, you know what I mean? And I used to do that, Man United win. Man United draw or the games that are supposed to win. I used to put them all together and accumulate that, and I used to do it. But many times that one result always goes wrong. And you know what? Eventually you realize, you look at how much you've lost and you look at £600, £700, and you look at how much you've lost altogether in the last year, and then you realize that, do you know what? I'm wasting money here. I could have put that money in savings and stuff like that. Do you know what I mean? It's madness. Players need to use the fans as an advantage. Pressure makes diamonds. And one thing I would say is, Ridwan, is that we need to be scary again. We need to be a football club that people are intimidated by. They need to come to Old Trafford and are intimidated like they used to be. Teams used to lose the game before they walked out of Old Trafford. Now they're confident. Now they want to make history. Now they want to damage more records. That's what it's like. We need to 77,000 people at Old Trafford need to sing, shout, scream, whatever it is, and make that stadium as intimidating as it can. If we do move to a new stadium, which it looks most likely that we will, we need to make that stadium as intimidating as it. I'm not talking about fireworks. I'm not talking about flipping cheerleaders. I'm talking about proper welcome to hell, Old Trafford. Do you know what I mean? Welcome to hell, Old Trafford. Fire, flares, anger, noise. That's what we need. We need that. We haven't had that. It's too easy to play for Man United. It's the fear to a pony. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, My Little Pony. You know what I mean? It's not intimidating enough. We have flipping Fred the Red walking around like a little teddy bear, happy little teddy bear. You know what I mean? We don't need that. We need something that's intimidating now. Old Trafford needs to be intimidating. I know it's a family ground, but listen, we got to change the mentality. We got to change the record, of course, guys. Absolutely. Wage structure is a problem where the output of wages. Can you imagine the dressing room where McTominay's on 60,000, debuting under Marino, then Mount Sancho? Absolutely. It goes for George. This is why over the years we had a structure in our wage. We didn't get over £40,000 under Sir Alex Ferguson because these sort of things happen. And naturally, human nature, these players are going to get quite, how do you call it? They're going to get rebellious, ain't they? They're going to get, jealous, and they're going to get obviously questioning why he's earning 350,000 when I've been here 5 years. He's earning 350,000. How can he earn that much? Blah blah blah. Do you know what I mean? And that needs to stop. That needs to stop. It is starting to stop. The wages going down now. Obviously, the players we brought in, the wages have gone down, of course. But we've got to stop handing out astronomical wages, including to players like Bruno. We've got to stop it now. We've got to stop it. Enough is enough. When you achieve something, then you can have those wages. Then you can have when you achieve something of significance, then you can have that wages. But right now, you're not achieving anything. So move on. Do you know what I mean? Move on. And you know what? Improve. And then you get your wage. That's how it should be. Good comment. Go to Jordan. 2 considers just about 2-3 minutes apartment. I can see the color billboard of the one from my room's window. It changes colors. I like that though. I like the colors changing and that. I do like. I've always been a fan. Everyone knows about Leicester Square in London, I've always wanted to live in Leicester Square because of the lights, because of the action. I've always loved Times Square in New York. I always would love to live there with the lights and the lively action and stuff like that. You know what? I like things like that. Even if it is concealer. Absolutely. Top button, how you doing, my friend? Are we doing well? Good to see you. Big up, Sal. How you doing, Sal? Start me having a stress-free weekend. I wonder why. Because Man United are not playing, of course. Top button. Man United are not playing. So a lot of us are having a much more calmer, relaxed weekend, of course, and that we deserve, guys. We do deserve a calm weekend, don't we? We all do, don't we, guys? Absolutely, absolutely. Brian, Sal, I just had a nice 6-1 winner called Strike Red at York. So I just had a 6-1. Oh, called Strike Red. Was that a horse racing, my friend? 6-1. Wow. Big up, Brian. Well done, Brian. Congratulations, Brian. Absolutely, absolutely brilliant. 6-1. How much did you put on? What flatter did you put on? How much did you put on? Sal, if we were a Man United player, how much per week would be sufficient for you to be a humble player? For me, think about Man United, right? Think about real people, right? Think about what real people earn, right? Let's think about it. I used to work in a supermarket. I used to be a security officer. I used to be a fishmonger. I used to be a baker, right? Never have I earned more than, £2,000. Most I've ever earned is about £2,300 a month. And that is working 60 hours a week. When I was working a normal job, right? 2,500. If I'm lucky on a good day, it's Christmas and I get double pay and stuff like that, right? So 2,500, right? Half of that went on my mortgage and stuff, right? Half of that went on my mortgage. Then I've got electricity bills. Then I've got gas bills. Then I've got my food bills. Then I've got my phone bill. You know what I mean? And then it goes on and on. Then I've got my Sky TV bill. Then, it goes on and on and on. And plus the little luxuries. And I end up with about £200 in my pocket, right? These players, right? I'm getting 2,000 odd a month, right? These players are getting minimum for £40,000 a week, right? And then let's not discount goal bonus, appearance bonus, signing on fee, sponsorship deals. They're earning a lot of money at a young age, and it's hard for them to be humble with that. For me, if I was a professional footballer, I'll play for Man United for £1,000 a week. That's how it would be, because I love my football club. I play for them for £1,000 a week. I'd flipping play for them for free if I could. But if I had to feed my family, if it was my job, I'd play for Man United for £1,000 a week, because I know the value of money. I know where I come from, and I know that's what it is. But these people are getting 40, 50, 60,000 a week. Some of them 350,000 a week. They earn more than I would doing my normal job for 10 years, man. Do you know what I mean? It's crazy when you think about it, which is why I don't work in these jobs anymore. So one thing that I actually hate gambling, when you do sports, whether it's rugby league, football, or cricket, I hate how they attract gamblers. Absolutely, Jim, I do. And it is addictive as well, especially if you have addictive personality. I have an addictive personality, so I don't touch gambling, because I know that I'll do it once. Let me just do a flatter once. Let me do it once, and then I'll do it again, and then I'll do it again. And you end up spending too much money, end up losing money. In the long run, the house always wins. Let me tell you something, guys. The house always wins in the end. They always win. Trust me. Stopped betting and putting a large sum on a few of you, Wilder, to expecting my boy Wilder to go for it. No. Wilder is not that guy. He got smoked by Fury, and the bomb, of course, guys. Absolutely. I thought he got him in the first fight, though. He did get him with the obviously the bomb, of course. But you know what? The way Tyson Fury fights, it's just that he's a very awkward fighter. He's a very awkward fighter. He's all over the place. You know what I mean? And he hit you there. He's got long arms. He's tall. He's lanky. He's awkward. And I knew that he would lose that game, Wilder, and that fight. Betting done without greed can be a source of income. It can be, but you have to be lucky at the same time. And you have to be shrewd in your betting as well. You have to be lucky. And you know what? But at the end of the day, the house will win. The house will win. Always. If you want to make a significant amount of money making betting, you have to be either psychic or absolutely lucky beyond your wildest dreams. You have to be completely. And at the end of the day, you know what? You can do it. You can do it by all means. But you know what? For me, for the majority of the people, 0.1% of people win big, right? The majority of the people, you lose. And that's what I would say. And that's an experienced guy talking 10 years. I was gambling and stuff like that with football and whatever. I won sometimes, but more or less, I lost a lot of times. You know what I mean? Because when you delve into the world of gambling, you also delve into games that you wouldn't usually bet on. So I would be looking at the Turkish league, and I'd be going, who's top of the Turkish league? Who are they playing? Who are Trabzonspor playing? Do you know what I mean? Who is that player? Who's FC Vitesse Arnhem playing? Who are they playing? Who's Young Boys Bern playing? And then you start doing that. Oh, they're going to beat them. They're going to beat them, and you start getting addicted to it, and it takes over your life. Trust me. Yeah, Horseware, £20. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Big up, mate. Big up. 6-1. Big up, my friend. Well done, Brian. You know what? Sometimes it works for you, of course. That's credit to you and for your parents that made you the man, the person you are, Sal. Big up, Jim. Absolutely. I mean, not everything in my family was perfect. My dad was a raging alcoholic. You know what I mean? There was domestic issues within my family. You know what I mean? And you know what? Went through a lot during my life. And you know what? I learned from him, and he's fixed now. He's good now. He's a good person now and stuff. And you know what? I learned a lot from what he was. And my dad, obviously, during the 80s and stuff like that, it wasn't an easy time in England. It wasn't. And there was a recession and stuff. And it was hard. And 5 of us in a 1-bedroom flat. You know what I mean? And it was difficult. And you know what? My dad didn't used to gamble. He used to encourage me not to gamble. He used to encourage me not to drink. He used to encourage me not to smoke. He said, it's not good for you. You know what I mean? He used to encourage me a lot of things, not eat sweets because his dad died of diabetes and stuff, and things like that. But you know what? Some things you pick up as habits, and those habits, you look at them in hindsight, and you go back and you look at how much you spent, and then you know what, you may not feel it at that time, but when you look over the year and you see 1,360 something pounds on gambling, and you think, my goodness, that is 1 month wage for me, and you know what, you think about that. What could I have done with that? I could have went on a holiday. I could have done something. Do you know what I mean? I could have given it to charity. I could have done something good with it, of course. But you know what? Everyone's their own person. If they gamble, as long as you gamble responsibly, of course. Salute, and you respect, Sal. Respect to you, Manu Teta. I hope you do well. Thank you so much, mate. Absolute respect to you as well. I appreciate you and the jokes. Absolutely. He's a legend. He cheers up the stream, of course, guys. He does. Sal, Had you been wrong path in your life even for some time? Yes, many times, mate. I tell you my life, right? At the end of the day, I'm an artist. I've always been an artist, a drawer. Ever since I was a kid, you know what I mean? I've been working, I've done things for Nickelodeon and stuff, freelance and everything. Been a cartoonist, right? But I never followed my talent as much as I should have followed my talent. I always followed the wrong thing. I always, you know what I mean? I met the wrong people in my life. I went this way, I went that way, you know, and I just was living to live and living just to exist at the end of the day. And that is the most scariest thing. You know, having a life of deja vu, you know, having a life of deja vu is not what I want. You know, I didn't want that. And just going day by day, meeting the wrong people, meeting the wrong people. I was raised in a council estate in England, if you know what that is. It's like the projects in America. Of course, I was raised in that. But until I started backing my brother, because you know what, I started backing my brother in the music and I ended up working with certain people I never thought I would ever get close to, you know. And, you know, until you start thinking about business, thinking about how I'm going to make money, how am I going to survive, how am I going to get out of the situation I am, working 60 hours, nights and days in hospitals, getting spat out, getting punched, you know, whatnot, you know, how am I going to get away from that? And you know what, I did. And it takes a big risk to do that, to quit your proper job and just to leave, you know, and just to leave and say, that's enough. You know, I'm going to concentrate on what my passion is, you know, and it is not easy. You know, I've been through a lot of paths. My friend Lutato, Manito, a lot of paths that I shouldn't have been down. Even now, I'm going through paths I just shouldn't even get down. You know what I mean? Because of my mouth, it gets me in trouble sometimes. But I can't help but speak the truth, the gospel. Do you know what I mean? I can't help it at the end of the day. I'm an East Ender from the East End of London. As you know, the East End of London, what it's about, if you know what East End of London is. And that's what I am. That's why I was raised. You know what I mean? I've always been real like that. And, you know what I mean? And it never changed. And, you know, it has got me in trouble and got me down the wrong path sometimes. Big up, man, to so I'm not telling anyone not to gamble. I see Interior Casino here in Brisbane. One thing is, in terms of here, Cox, there's nothing wrong with gambling, Jim, if you gamble responsibly, in my opinion. Just don't put yourself at harm. You know, don't harm yourself at expense of your own family. Do you know what I mean? Absolutely, in my opinion. I've seen people go down with gambling, you know, and ruin their lives. Do you know what I mean? I knew a person who won 20 million on a lottery, by the way, guys. He when I used to work in a hospital, he won 20 million. He gambled it. 20 million. Who gave Mount the number 7 shirt? We are not serious. Definitely not Ineos. Definitely not Ineos. I don't think anyone. I think it was probably people who don't know nothing about the number 7 shirt at the end of the day. You are a strong and well-behaved man, Sal. Big up, Ashik. Thank you so much, my friend. You are too. Thank you so much for joining. Hey, bless up, Rasta Stocks. How you feeling today, mate? How you feeling today, my bro? Hope everything is good with you. I hope you're doing well. Hope everything is kind. And Saturdays bring you lots of love, lots of fortune, and lots of happy thoughts, mate. You know what? Man United are not playing today. So we got a chance to just relax and reflect at the moment. And that's what it's all about. Absolutely. Nation to nation. Who do you think from the reserves that break through United? I think Saku and Gore may have a chance with going Gore mainly of the Youth Cup. I personally think also George, Harry and Mass will break through pretty soon. Fletcher will break through. Shea Lacey will break through also. I'm a big fan of Wheatley. I think he's quite built for his age as well. I'm a big fan of Wheatley as well. I do think obviously Kone and Obi Martin will get there. They will get there as well. We wouldn't be chasing these players if they weren't going to be stars, of course, guys. Absolutely. Nation to nation, bruv. Absolutely. Nation to nation. Big up, Carsey. I've missed the show. How are you? Big up, Sal, and keep up the good work. Thank you, Daniel. Hope you're doing well. Thank you so much for joining me on the stream. You legend. Whether you're late, whether you're early, it means a lot to me that you came and you come on the stream and you said hello. That means a lot to me, mate. You popped your head in the door and said hello. It means a lot. You know what I mean? Thank you so much, Daniel. You legend. Jim, so I'm straight up, to be honest, person. The channel is #1, the greatest Man United channel. It's the way engaged with people. No one else does it on YouTube. Love that way. Thank you so much, Jim. Jim, do you know what? That's what I'm about at the end of the day. I know I will never change. Do you know what I mean? I never start, using this channel as a source to just get money. Do you know what I mean? Even though it helps the channel, I wouldn't force people to do things that they can't do and they can't afford and stuff and use it. Because at the end of the day, my life is about interacting with Man United fans at the moment. I want to do that. I want to talk to people all around the world. And it means a lot to me that my followers are growing at a slow rate. I mean, my subscribers are going up. But you know what? It's better. It's more about the quality rather than quantity. And you are quality, Jim. Thank you, mate. Okay, so will you change if you get 100? No, absolutely not. I know every single one of you. Like Bath Time, I know Jim, I know Rasta Stocks, I know Manatuta, I know you know, all these people I know, obviously, Grayo, of course, in the chat. I know every single, I know Elite Baller. These people are in here. I will never change no matter what in regards to that. And you can copy and clip this because I'm not going to do that. The people who come when I do get big, that is when, you know what I mean, they're the ones who are going to, you know what I mean, have to earn their way into my to my situation, of course, guys. But will I get to 100,000? Who knows? One day, inshallah. Oh my God, it's the weekend, Sal. Big up half time. It is the weekend, Sal. That is what it's all about. I've been the weekend. We've had a great day so far. I've been outside. I've been out and about. You know what I mean? I've shown some people my life today. At the end of the day, I've been out and about. You know what? It's not all palm trees and stuff like that. You know what? I do things and stuff like that, guys. Absolutely. Not just swimming and swimming pool and stuff like that. But yeah, you know what? It was a great day. It was a nice day. It was a lovely day, guys. Absolutely. Man, Benny Coffey was joking about things. He can't be criticizing his superior. GK, he can. He's not employed by them anymore. He can say what he wants, isn't it, GK? He's not employed by them anymore, of course, guys. Respect to Sal, if I disagree with you, I personally hate gambling, but those do not. I do. I hate it as well, Jim. I do, because what it does, I don't have a thing with anyone, but what it does, Jim, it grabs you. It grabs you. And it's like it's addiction. And that is, addiction is what hurts you. It's not the gambling itself. It's the addiction. It's the addiction that will get to you, guys. Absolutely. I'm good going to work for a few hours, mate. Rasta, hope you have a fantastic day at work, mate. What do you do for a living, my friend? Hope you have a fantastic day at work. How is New York City? Hope everyone is keeping well there. My brother lives there. My brother lives in New York. Manchester bath time. It's weekend without a lose or draw. Absolutely. It's lovely, isn't it? It's lovely. It's different, of course. It's a nice feeling. It's a nice feeling. You are a quality South to South. Big up, Jim. Absolutely. Absolutely. So are you, my friend. Absolutely. Manuel Tato, I respect you, bro. 100%. I love you too. The people in the chat here, my friend. I love you all. Absolutely. Love everyone. Of course, all the love in the world. Art Bart. What does that mean? What does that mean, Khan? What do you mean? What do you mean? I respect the fact you engage with everyone in the comments. That's a key thing. Mate, I do that all the time, mate. I've been doing that for a long time now. I don't like rejecting. Everyone is a human being. You know what I mean? I know better than anyone. You know what I mean? And some people seem to think they are. Some big accounts who've been given their accounts to them with a big number don't. You know, they think that they're superior. Believe me, they think like that. Unfortunately, they do. I don't. You know what I mean? I'm the sort of person who can speak to anyone, any people from any walk of life. Do you know what I mean? And that comes to the way I was brought up. This comes from where I'm from. You know what I mean? The same as you, Rasta. Rasta, do you know what? You could be someone very, very big in New York, right? And I don't know. You know what I mean? But one thing I know is that you're a sound person, you're a good person, and that is all that matters to me. At the end of the day, that's all that matters to me. And that is what I go by. You know, who you are, what kind of person you are. And that is what's most important in life in general. It's all about kindness. It's all about that. So true, Sal. Big up, Jim. I read the casinos spend a lot on the perfumes, temperature, ambience, etc., to fool customers into a hypnotic state when gambling. Don't be surprised, guys, for George. There's a lot of sinister things that go on in these places. There's lots of sinister things that go in life. You know what? We're fighting a war against many things we don't even know about. Do you know what I mean? We're fighting a war against things we don't even think about. Do you know what I mean? We are. Even the shampoo we put on our hair, the deodorant we put on our skin. You know what I mean? We're always fighting a war in regards to that. So we always have to be careful, of course, guys. Cockney accent out and about, mate. Absolutely. Out and about. Out and about. So out is A-A-T. Yeah, out and about, mate. Spot on. I work in a hospital for one full-time and the other part-time in New York City. It's very expensive no matter what you do. I worked in a hospital as well, Rasta. I worked in St. George's Hospital in London, one of the biggest hospitals in London, in UK. And you know what? We know what it's like in a hospital, Rasta. You know what it's like. My brother works in a hospital. You might work in the same bloody place as him. You know that. You might. I don't know which hospital. I'm going to find out what hospital it is. I'm going to throw it at you. My older brother works in a hospital in New York. But yeah, I worked in a hospital as well. You see, things in common. At the end of the day, I worked in the big hospital in London, and it's, you know how difficult it is. It's physical. You get abuse, you get spat at, you get punched, you name it. You know what I mean? All you know, people who know, they know. Of course. So imagine if the whole world was like this channel, like you, and I think about it, the power of love and change everything, and it started within us all. Jim, I wish that is my dream. I had a dream as of course, you know what I mean? Malcolm X. Big up, Rasta, big up everyone, of course. I have been to Bahrain once and also gone to Dubai in the childhood. I got a nice attar. Big up, big up. Hope to see you here again. Hope to see you here again, guys. Absolutely. Bless you, Rasta, for your wonderful work. You do appreciate you. Big up, Rasta Stocks, of course. Big up. You know, how you feel relaxed at the end of the stress, full of sweaty day. Shower, cold shower, relax, have a joke. You know what I mean? Enjoy yourself. Think positively. You know what I mean? Think about you guys, of course. That's what I do. That's how I have a positive day, guys. That's how I am, my friends. Guys, it's been a fantastic show. In all means, absolutely brilliant. Martin Luther, that's it. Martin Luther, God forbid, sorry. Yeah, Martin Luther King, I had a dream. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Guys, it's been a fantastic show. Thank you so much for joining me, you brilliant people. Absolutely. Thanks, everyone. I appreciate it. Big up Rasta Socks. Don't forget to show some love to Rasta Socks. Subscribe to him and everything, guys, please. Good person. We need good wingers and a left back. Absolutely agree with that, GK. Absolutely. What a thing. Thank you so much, Sal. Your work is appreciated. Also, thank you, Jim. Thank you, everyone, for joining me today. It's been a fantastic show. We move on until tomorrow, until next week, guys. Until tomorrow, actually. Breaking dawn tomorrow. Let's not forget. Don't forget to join me for that. Nice and early. Break of dawning. Now I'm yawning. Early in the morning, as Biggie once said, of course, guys. Take it easy, guys, and all the best. Peace.